Does Wong remember Spider-Man's secret identity? While we count down the lunar phases until Moon Knight makes his MCU debut and Doctor Strange gets real weird inside the Multiverse of Madness, we have plenty of time to keep overthinking previous Marvel entries. Now that Spider-Man No Way Home is out on digital, we're seeing a fresh wave of analysis, speculation, and vibranium foil hat-worthy fan theories about the Wallcrawler's third outing. Now, as you likely know, the central conflict of Spider-Man No Way Home revolves around Peter Parker causing Doctor Strange to accidentally bungle a spell designed to make everyone in the world forget that he's really Spider-Man. By the end of the film's prodigious runtime, Peter finally gets his wish, and everyone forgets that he can do whatever a spider can. Or so we're led to believe. Now, according to a new fan theory, that might not be the case. Someone powerful may still remember who Peter Parker actually is, beyond being a gawky kid from Queens that routinely turns our bones to dust by calling movies like Empire Strikes Back and Alien really, really old.
Jesus, Tony, how old is this guy?
I don't know, I didn't carbon date him, he's on the young side.
As you likely guessed from the title of this video, the person we're talking about is none other than Earth's reigning Sorcerer Supreme, Wong himself.
Wait, I thought you were the Sorcerer Supreme.
No, he got it on a technicality because I blipped for 5 years.
Oh.
We're gonna break it all down for you in just a moment, but in case you're content not knowing who Spider-Man is for some reason, now's your chance to leave before we go off the deep end. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? So this theory, which we spotted via Inverse, was first posited by Redditor JR Foster01. It revolves around the use of very precise, specific language in the film, which, as we've seen, is very important when it comes to magic. When Peter comes to the snow-covered Sanctum Sanctorum for help, Doctor Strange agrees to cast a highly volatile, dangerous spell called the Runes of Kof Kal. It's designed to make the world forget Peter's secret identity in the wake of Mysterio publicly doxing him on J. Jonah Jameson's show at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. Wong tries to warn Strange not to cast the spell, but then takes off through a sling ring portal before the events of the movie unfold. As he does, he says, "Just leave me out of it." Now, according to the theory, Strange took Wong's request to heart and omitted Earth's reigning Sorcerer Supreme from both the initial spell that Peter's interference botched, and the final spell that seemingly made everyone in the world forget Spider-Man's real identity. And that's basically the crux of the entire theory. It's a relatively simple concept, but it also relies on the unspoken implication that Doctor Strange took Wong's words as a direct request, rather than this innocuous attempt to wash his hands of the whole affair. Clearly, based on what happens in No Way Home, Doctor Strange isn't exactly in the habit of listening to Wong, Sorcerer Supreme title or not.
Higher duties?
The Sorcerer Supreme has higher duties, yes.
Now, as we heard in the first Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer, Wong's warning is something that Strange clearly should have heeded. And there is some additional evidence supporting the idea that Wong was exempt. When Strange scolds Peter saying that he changed his spell 6 times, Peter corrects the Doctor by saying 5 times. So maybe that 6th time could have been a change of Strange's own to modify the spell so that Wong would not be subject to it, but that does seem tenuous at best. Now, if Wong were the exception to this spell, it makes sense from a narrative standpoint, given how Marvel seems to be positioning Wong as this major power player in Phase 4. As we saw in Shang-Chi, when Wong isn't secretly fixing underground Fight Club matches with Abomination, he's conferring with Captain Marvel and Bruce Banner about trying to solve the mystery of the 10 rings and the strange beacon contained within. Well, when he isn't doing karaoke, that is. Given that Wong is the current Sorcerer Supreme of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he would certainly be a strong ally for Peter to have. But Wong's tendency to exit stage left during universe-threatening crises isn't exactly a promising sign for the Wallcrawler either. For now, it's a bit of a Schrodinger's cat situation where Wong both knows who Peter Parker really is and doesn't know who Peter is until we next see these characters on screen together. And while rumors of a Spider-Man variant appearing in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness continue to swirl, I'm not so sure they're going to tip their hand about Wong being this potential exception to the rule so soon. Much more fascinating, though, is the question of whether the spell affected everyone in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe or merely everyone on Earth. And if so, there are several people who have either met Spider-Man previously or know that he's really Peter Parker that are currently in the far-flung reaches of outer space. The biggest question mark here is Nick Fury. He knows exactly who Peter Parker is and even sent his Skrull stand-in Talos to shadow Peter on his European vacation in Far From Home. Of course, as we learned in that movie, Nick Fury wasn't on planet Earth. He was sipping space Mai Tais on the holodeck of a spaceship somewhere off-world.
Who's got my shoes?
Another option is Captain Marvel, who's also off-planet. She briefly met a decidedly unmasked Spider-Man during the final battle in Avengers Endgame as the team played keep away with the Infinity Gauntlet. Not only that, but he actually introduces himself to Carol as well.
Hi, I'm Peter Parker.
Hey, Peter Parker.
And in the comics, for example, while Bruce Banner was affected by the spell that wiped Peter Parker's identity from existence, Hulk was somehow immune to it. So this is all to say the possibilities for loopholes here are endless, but this particular theory and its specificity of language, I find it delightful because of how it latches onto a seemingly innocuous piece of dialogue and gives it such greater meaning. Now, chances are the spell really could have affected everyone in the Marvel Universe, but over time, different characters might slowly piece together that Peter Parker is leading a double life. I mean, this dude has to pay rent now, and what better way to do that than take pictures of yourself performing superheroic exploits for the very man whose platform doxed you in the first place? Actually, it seems pretty f***ed up when you put it like that. Anyway, only time will tell, and you'd better believe that our spidey sense will be tingling the moment we find more clues about the truth behind Doctor Strange's mind-altering magic. In the meantime, though, we'll have you covered with plenty of other Marvel deep dives over on Nerdist.com. For now, though, tell us, what do you think of this theory? Do you think that Wong knows who Peter Parker really is? And who else might remember Spider-Man's secret identity?
Hey, we haven't officially met. Cool.
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.